A lot to talk about with this one. Let's bring in Jo Ingles, an Ohio journalist with Statehouse News, who's reported on this. Jo, first of all, thank you so much for being with us. Just talk about the absenteeism levels in Ohio schools specifically right now compared to, say, years past.
Well, chronic absenteeism, I should first define it. It's when you're missing 90% of the, or when you're missing less than 90% of the classes. Okay. So that's defined as chronic absenteeism. And in Ohio, we have seen that before the pandemic, we had a problem with chronic absenteeism. But after the pandemic, about a third of the school kids are chronically absent in some areas. So, and in some areas, it's even higher than that. That's kind of a statewide average. So, what they want to do, state lawmakers on the Republican and Democratic side, are proposing this idea of starting a pilot project, as you just outlined, that would maybe pay kids to go to school. And they want to see if that would make a difference, if kids would actually attend school if they were being paid.
All right. So Jo, how would this actually work? I mean, are we talking about actually paying the kids versus the parents? And how would those payments be made?
Well, for the younger kids in kindergarten, those payments would go to the parents because, they're so young. But then the high schoolers would get those payments directly to them. There would be control groups set up so they could determine if that's working and if that's enough of a carrot. But as some lawmakers have said, they've tried a lot of other options and nothing seems to be working. So they're thinking this might be the ticket.
All right. So Jo, money is always at the heart of things, even when we're talking about money going out. So where would the money to fund this actually come from?
Well, it would come from the general revenue fund. But, the sponsors of this will point out that we have dropout recovery programs in Ohio. And if kids are going to school, if this is successful, first of all, and they expand it, and kids are actually going to school, then you wouldn't have the need for as many dollars going to dropout recovery programs. So that could all be shifted. They're also saying that, kids who don't get an education and graduate, they don't end up being successful in life, and a lot of them end up costing the government in other ways, and that this would help keep kids in school and make sure that they have skills to get a job.
Yeah, I mean, if potentially if it helps keep kids in school. So you talked about the dropout recovery programs. How is truancy handled right now? And are there, attempts to maybe better enforce getting kids to school?
Well, truancy in Ohio is a little bit different than when we're talking chronically absent, because truant brings into account that you didn't even register for school, you're not there at all. Chronically absent is a little higher bar, but in most cases, as the sponsors of this bill point out, there are not enough truant officers to make sure these kids are in school, and that hiring truant officers causes, that'll cost money too. So they've tried some other things, and as one sponsor said, they've tried the pizza parties, and maybe the pizza wasn't good enough. So
Maybe. Yeah.
this is it.
So Jo, I think the big question here, would these payments go to all kids? Because aren't there concerns this could push some kids not to go to school so they could therefore be paid to go to school?
There is that concern. There is also a concern that people, a lot of people are questioning, is this what is going to get kids to go to school? Or is there another problem? For example, we know anecdotally that childcare is a problem in Ohio, being able to get affordable childcare. So are kids not going to school because they're taking care of a younger sibling? There are a lot of anecdotal things like that a lot of people are saying, hey, let's look at the real cause of this first and then decide if we want to go down this route.
All right, before I let you go, Jo, where does the legislation stand right now? What happens next?
Well, it's been introduced, and right now the legislature's taking a break. We've got a March primary coming up, a lot of politicking going on in the next couple of months, and then right after that we'll have a capital budget. So it may not be taken up in the next couple of months, but it is being talked about, and people are reacting to it. So I'm sure the lawmakers are hearing that.
I'm sure people are reacting. All right. State House News reporter Jo Ingles, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.